2021 wasn't nearly as bad as 2020, but I mean, it was still crap. A lot of the animated movies that were supposed to come out in 2020 were either delayed to next year or cancelled from theaters entirely and just put onto a streaming service or on demand service. There were very few animated films that came out in 2020, and a lot of things from last year in 2020 were shot out in 2021. And we're going to look at them all today. Now, I am going to be getting this from this list of films that came from Animat, which is just reviews of animated films from this year. And a lot of these I may not have seen, some of them I might, and others that just haven't come out in my country yet. So, without further ado, let's go. First up, we have Raya and the Last Dragon from 2021. I put Raya and the Last Dragon in B tier. It's not a bad film per se, it just lacks some things. I mean, it has great world building and some great comedy and stunning animation, but apart from that, the film just, it still lacked in some things like, well, some better world building and some comedic stuff in the film was just not good. Next up is Arlo the Alligator Boy. I haven't seen it. I've been meaning to get around to it, but I've heard good and not good things about it. Next up is Mitchell's versus the Machines. A tier, easy A tier. The film has stunning animation, a incredible funny humor, memorable characters, and just an all-around great film. Kind of like the category it's in. Next up is Spirit Untamed. I have not seen it, and frankly, I don't want to see it. Next up is Wish Dragon. Again, haven't seen it. I've been meaning to get around to it, but I just haven't had the time, or mainly I just haven't been bothered to. Next up is Luca. A tier, easy. It's so original and so experimental for Pixar, yet it makes it all the better. I love this new path that Pixar is going down with their experimental films, like Soul or Luca. They are making more, but I'll explain that in a My Thoughts Of video. But for now, back to the tier list. Next up is Boss Baby Back in Business, or Family Business, whatever the hell you want to call it, and America the Motion Picture. I'm pairing these two together because I haven't seen both of them, so I'm just going to add them to the tier list. Boom, here, you got it. I even had to extend the haven't seen section because there's so many movies I have not seen this year. Next up we have Viva. That goes right into B tier. I like the film and it's very different from other Sony Pictures animation movies. It even has Lin-Manuel Miranda, who composed the music for Moana. I'll get to that in another video. But for this film, it's a good movie. Not great by any means, but still charming, and the music I still love. And believe it or not, it's not the only Lin-Manuel Miranda film that will appear later on this list. Foreshadowing. Next up we have Paw Patrol the movie. Haven't seen it. Should probably get to it because I have seen the TV show and it's very funny. Not because of how bad it is. The show isn't bad. It's fine. It's just funny. Next we have My Little Pony The Next Generation. S tier. Next up is... No, I'm just kidding you. I have to explain myself. Hear me out, okay? I hate this franchise. Hell, I despise it. It's stupid, idiotic, and should not be viewed by anyone. But this movie is so damn great. It's not the best of the year. Again, foreshadowing. But it's just a great film. I mean, it has very good comedy, memorable characters, and a message about, like, discrimination that I would not expect from this. Why, out of all the movies that has discrimination, would be this? But I have to admit that this film was very well made. It's a great step into CGI, and I would give a solid 9 out of 10 if I would. It's not the best, and it's not fantastic, but I still think it's a very great movie. Thinking about it, I think I probably should have put an A tier, but what the hell. I did it now, there's no turning back. Next up is The Addams Family 2. D tier. It's very boring and it's a slight improvement from the original because the textures are actually better and the animation isn't as freaky. But I mean, it still sucks. Next up is Ron's Gone Wrong. Definitely put us in upper C tier. And it borders on B tier, but there are still some things that I would improve. Like the story has some plot holes and I feel like it's a bit too long because I mean for the type of film it is I thought it'd be shorter, like about like 100 minutes, but no, instead it's weren't. But that's my only true complaint. The rest of the film is pretty good, but still could use some improvement, like the humor, and there wasn't really any point in using curse words. But I mean, I'm not complaining. Next up is Encanto. You see, that's the Lin-Manuel Miranda reference that I was going to make earlier. S tier, easily. It's the best animated film of this year. Now, I know it looks like it's lower than My Little Pony: A New Generation, but it's supposed to be higher. It's just, yeah, Encanto is way better than this. It's literally near perfect. My only complaint is that it deceived me for the runtime. Some said it's an hour 39, others said it's an hour 49, but then IMDb said an hour 42, and that's what the runtime of the film was. So, yeah, that's the runtime. In case you were wondering. Next up is Dary of a Wimpy Kid. Okay, so here's the deal. I haven't seen the film, but I'm gonna do something different. Nothing's been put in the E or F tier yet. So if I had to make a prediction for where this film would be, it would be right there in the E tier. I mean, that's just a prediction. If I watch it, might actually be higher, but that's just my prediction for now. Or I might be in the F tier, which is crap. But I don't think it'll be crap. I think it'll just be bad, average, decent. But that's the highest it'll go. It definitely won't be C, B, A, or S. Or any other category for that matter. Next up is Back to the Outback. I put that in B tier. It is a very good movie, but for some reason there were way too many sexual jokes in this film. Even for a U rating, it was very strange. And also the word damn was used, but I don't think that really mattered, so yeah, moving on. Next up is Rumble.